Going live. We going
Okay.
live.
All right.
I see people. I see people. I see people. And I'm so glad I'm here. Yes, I'm so glad I'm here. I'm so glad I'm here. So glad I'm here. Come on, y'all. So glad I'm here. Yes, I'm so glad I'm here. So glad I'm here. So glad I'm here on Daily Antidote of Song. Great
Oh, wonderful.
morning. Yay. Great morning. Grand rising to us all. Hello. Welcome to the Daily Antidote of Song. I'm Arnaé. I'm your host for this Tuesday edition, which is always lovingly brought to you by the good people at Carpe Diem Arts. Give them a hand. Give them a hand. You all come here every day. They feed your soul and provide the antidote. So give them a nice hand. So today, I'm naming this week in a wintry mood. Okay. Anybody for little Duke Ellington this morning? In a wintry mood. And we were celebrating this sacred holiday season and the winter solstice, which is actually today. And we have a super duper special guest in the room this morning who I'll get to after we say greetings to our Facebook Live family. Come on, wave to them. How y'all doing? How you doing? All right. And then wave to each other. Greetings to the Zoom roomers. The roomers in the Zoom room. Zoomers in the room. Zoom. Oh, okay. It's too early. Wave to each other. You know what to do. I'm going to start out by saying hello to Busy Graham. I don't know if she's here yet, but let's give her. She makes it possible. Jojo Rossi, who's traveling with Nico in the car, give them a hand. And let's send some traveling grace to them so that their ride and their transportation is smooth as it needs to be. And of course, to our Zoom guru for the day, my girl Katie. Give it up for Katie. All right, all right. I'm feeling good already. Okay, so if there are any new people here in the room today, if this is your first time, please stay until the very end when everyone else is gone, and you will receive a very special welcome from JoJo. All right? Okay, let's get started with the Zoomers in the room. I see Deborah Denonville. I see Jacqueline Brick and Arlene Baxter. Arlene, who is that? Okay, we'll come back. Oh, it's a reader. Okay, we'll come back. I see Suzanne in Ithaca, Agnes, and Busy Graham. I see. Oh, shucks. So in McLaughlin. Your name is first name is covered up, but you look it looks like you're drinking something really yummy. I see my girl Susan G. I see Sheila and Greg. Good morning. I see Ruth and Peter. I see Amanda, Alex, and Miles. Okay, y'all moving too quick. I see my friends Dick and Kathy and BC. We coming back to y'all. I see LC. Kathleen, I see Francis and Sarah Page. I see Ruth in Birmingham. I see Barb in Beria. I see Susan Miller. I see Mr. James Harkless. Bow down. I see Sherry Shakti. And I see my friend Dennis Donnelly. I see Mary, see Caroline, see Judith, I see Heidi, and I'm moving on to the next page. And there's Luda and Mark showing all the love. I see Steve and Michelle. I see Steve and Michelle. Diane too. Dawn in a curly top. And Carolyn with her snowflake. I see Cliff in Vermont and Jim in New York City. Y'all see how I changed that. I see Rosalie and Julie Martin, Jane in Texas, and Nashville and I see Mariah in San Jose. Yes, I know the way. I see Ralph and Penn, Dean Stevens, Kathy Mayer in Santa, and Nancy in West Mass. I see Hindy and Kevin. I see Annette and Martha Wagner. I see Pete and Janet and LMG, Becky Kane and Karen Newman. I see Nancy with that moo cow that I love so well. I see Emily and Christiana Drapkin. I see Fred and Bennett and Gary Pausner. I see Julie and Mabel and Bob with the dancing bears nearby. And I see my dear friend Storm, who's killing it on the hat game this morning. I see Sandra D. and Aloysius and Harriet and Carol and Cumming and Cricket. I see Deborah again. How'd you do that? I see Esmeralda McKay, and there's Jamie Dundas and Lynn Levine and Marianne and Mike Wyatt and Lisa and Kathleen and Rick and Jody and Sandy and Choir Pat and C. Cox and Robert and Bianca and Jane and Laurie and Choir Daily. It's so lovely to see you this morning. All right. Somebody, I need coffee. Somebody, I need coffee. I don't even do coffee. Okay, let me get to the reason we are here today. This is what I'm titling a wintry mood week. And our song leader is so beloved. She has a long Wikipedia page. Let's just show colossal love for the incomparable Peggy Seeger. Miss Peggy Seeger. I can call you Miss Peggy, right?
Yes, you're talking to me.
Oh, fantastic, fantastic. Such a pleasure meeting you. How are you this morning?
I'm vertical and breathing, and
Okay.
I'm going to a caroling service tonight after we're finished here.
All
Yeah.
right. Okay. All right. So I understand you've got two offerings for us today.
Yes, I do. The first one is one that I want you guys to join in on, and we've put a text up in the chat. And I'm just going to carry on, and you're going to join in. I first heard this when I was a kid, and I thought it was wonderful because it had, at the end, it had 5 gold rings, 4 calling birds, 3 French hens, 2 turtle doves, and a part of a juniper tree. Not a partridge in the pear tree, but a part of a juniper tree. And I didn't know what a juniper tree was until a seasoned drinker told me that's where gin comes from. So anyway, however you want to sing it, it's good if we all sing just the one thing. Shame we can't hear each other. But here we go. On the first day of Christmas, my true love sent to me a partridge in a pear tree. On the second day of Christmas, my true love sent to me 2 turtle doves and a partridge in a pear tree. On the third day of Christmas, my true love sent to me 3 French hens, 2 turtle doves and a partridge in a pear tree. On the 4th day of Christmas, my true love sent to me 4 calling birds, 3 French hens, 2 turtle doves, and a partridge in a pear tree. On the 5th day of Christmas, my true love sent to me 5 gold rings. Sorry, my voice ain't no good, so you gotta sing loud to yourselves. 4 calling birds, 3 French hens, 2 turtle doves, and a partridge in a pear tree. I'm gonna lower the key. On the 6th day of Christmas, my true love sent to me 6 geese a-laying, 5 gold rings, 4 calling birds, 3 French hens, 2 turtle doves, and a partridge in a pear tree. On the 7th day of Christmas, my true love sent to me 7 swans a-swimming, 6 geese a-laying, 5 gold rings, 4 calling birds, 3 French hens, 2 turtle doves, and a partridge in a pear tree. On the 8th day of Christmas, my true love sent to me 8 maids a milk and 7 swans a swim and 6 geese a lay and 5 gold rings, 4 calling birds, 3 French hens, 2 turtle doves, and a partridge in a pear tree. On the 9th day of Christmas my true love sent to me 9 ladies dancing, 8 maids a milk and 7 swans a swim and 6 geese a laying, 5 gold rings, 4 calling birds, 3 French hens, 2 turtle doves, and a partridge in a pear tree. On the 10th day of Christmas my true love sent to me 10 lords a leaping, 9 ladies dancing, 8 maids a milk and 7 swans a swimming, 6 geese a laying, 5 gold rings, 4 calling birds, 3 French hens, 2 turtle doves, and a partridge in a pear tree. On the 10th day of Christmas my true love sent to me 10 lords a leaping, 9 ladies dancing, 8 maids a milk and 7 swans a swimming, 6 geese a laying, 5 gold rings, 4 calling birds, 3 French hens, 2 turtle doves, and a partridge in a pear tree. On the 11th day of Christmas, you know how to stretch your thumb, don't you? Go like this, you stretch your thumb. Oh, it's getting really long now. Look at that. Oh, my. Anyway, on the 11th day of Christmas, my true love sent to me 11 pipers piping, 10 lords a leaping, 9 ladies dancing, 8 maids a milking, 7 swans a swimming, 6 geese a laying, 5 gold rings, 4 calling birds, 3 French hens, 2 turtle doves, and a partridge in a pear tree. On the 12th day of Christmas my true love sent to me 12 drummers drumming, 11 pipers piping, 10 lords a leaping, 9 ladies dancing, 8 maids a milking, 7 swans a swimming, 6 geese a laying, 5 gold rings, 4 calling birds, 3 French hens, 2 turtle doves, and a partridge in a pear tree. I sang that in an English church a couple of days ago, but they didn't have anything in the chat box, and they were sweating. They were sweating trying to remember it all. And this is something that I'd like to read to you. It's another way of approaching the 12 days of Christmas. It's a kind of a poem, but it's letters. And it's by John Julius Norwich. And here's the letters. 25th December. My dearest darling, that partridge in that lovely little pear tree. What an enchanting, romantic, poetic present. Bless you and thank you. Your deeply loving Emily. 26th December. My dearest darling Edward, 2 turtle doves arrived this morning and they're cooing away in the pear tree as I write. I think of the 2 of us. I'm so touched and grateful. With undying love, as always, Emily. 27th December. My darling Edward, you do think of the most original presents. Who thought of sending anybody 3 French hens? Do they really come all the way from France? It's a pity we have no chicken coops, but I expect we'll find some. Thank you anyway. They're lovely. Always, your Emily. The 28th of December. Dearest Edward, what a surprise! 4 calling birds arrived this morning. They're very sweet, even if they do call rather loudly, and they make telephoning impossible. But I expect they'll calm down when they get used to their new home. Anyway, I'm very grateful. Of course I am. Love, your Emily. 29th December. Dearest Edward, the postman has just delivered 5 most beautiful gold rings, 1 for each finger, and all fitting perfectly. A really lovely present, lovelier in a way than the birds, which do take rather a lot of looking after. The 4 that arrived yesterday are still making a terrible row, and I'm afraid none of us got much sleep last night. Mummy says she wants to use the rings to wring their necks. She's only joking, I think, though I do know what she means. but I love the rings. Bless you. Love, Emily. Dear Edward, whatever I expected to find when I opened the front door this morning, it wasn't certainly 6 socking great geese laying eggs all over the doorstep. I think we could do with no more birds for a while, Edward. What do you think? 31st December. Edward, I thought I said no more birds, but this morning I woke up to find no less than 7 swans all trying to get into our tiny goldfish pond. I'd rather not think what happened to the goldfish. The whole house seems to be full of birds, to say nothing of what they leave behind. Edward, please, please stop. Your Emily. 1st January. Frankly, I think I prefer the birds. What am I to do with 8 milkmaids and their cows? Is this some kind of joke? If so, I don't find it very amusing. 2nd January. Edward, this has gone far enough. You say you're sending me 9 ladies dancing. All I can say is that judging from the way they dance, they're certainly not ladies. The village just isn't accustomed to seeing a regiment of shameless hussies with nothing on but their lipstick cavorting around the green. And it's Mummy and I who get blamed. If you value our friendship, which I do less and less, kindly stop this ridiculous behavior. 23rd January. As I write this letter, 10 disgusting old men are prancing about all over what used to be the garden before the geese and the swans and the cows got at it, and several of them I notice are taking inexcusable liberties with the milkmaids. Meanwhile, the neighbors are trying to have us evicted. I shall never speak to you again. 4th January. This is the last straw. You know I detest bagpipes. The place has now become something between a menagerie and a madhouse, and a man from the council has just declared it unfit for habitation. At least Mummy has been spared this last outrage. They took her away yesterday afternoon in an ambulance. I hope you're satisfied. 5th January. Sir, our client, Miss Emily Willibraham, instructs me to inform you that with the arrival on her premises at 7:30 this morning of the entire percussion section of the Liverpool Philharmonic Orchestra and several of their friends, she has no course left open to her but to seek an injunction to prevent your importuning her further. I am making arrangements for the return of much assorted livestock. I am, sir, yours faithfully, G. Creep, Solicitor at Law.
Okay, Miss Peggy. Everybody, come on. We need responses. We need responses in the chat. Your next career, comedy. Like, it's so clear. The comedy is your forte. Oh my.
I think we have to laugh. There's so many things that are tragic, you have to laugh. But I get visions of her with all of this stuff arriving on her doorstep.
Absolutely. And the 9 ladies twerking. Yo, I would get rid of them too. We'd be done. We'd be done. Okay, I know you have a limited amount of time, and so I want to acknowledge that there are a group of people in the room. They are titling themselves as choir, and they are members of the Getting Higher Choir and Wavelengths Choir up in British Columbia. This place, they love to sing up there, and I can't wait to get back. And so they are all here in the room paying homage to you and your legacy, all of the music and everything that you have done in your life. Like I said, you got a very long Wikipedia page, but something that's really curious to me, I'd like to talk to you about your connection to Paul Robeson, please. And you are
Well,
okay.
the first time I heard his name mentioned was with the Peekskill riots. And if you don't know about them, you must. It's very important
Tell us.
history.
Tell us.
Peekskill, Peekskill, New York. Paul Robeson was due to sing at a left-wing rally just outside Peekskill on an open ground. And to make a long story just a little bit shorter, Peekskill, how do you call them? People, they had lined up all along the route that people were going to come into the fairground with, and they lined it up with piles of stones, and they were stoning people going in and coming out. And my brother Pete remembered driving out, and they threw these stones, which were about as big as a small softball, through the windscreen side. He had his mother-in-law and father-in-law with them, and two little children, and they were lying on the floor of the passenger seat, a passenger room, while glass was raining down on them, and you couldn't move because these people had stopped the traffic getting out. That's when I first heard Paul Robeson's name. I don't know him. I didn't know him. I was on stage with him once in London, uh, and it was for something for West Indian, one of the West Indian groups, and the West Indians didn't turn up. So Paul Robeson took the first half, and Ewan McCall and I took the second half, and he was magnificent, absolutely magnificent. And the next one is what I think is funny. I was supposed to accompany him on the guitar in Trafalgar Square. Trafalgar Square, you can get 100,000 people in it, and the 100,000 were there. And they asked me to come along and accompany him on a single acoustic guitar. And there's a photograph probably in my website somewhere that shows Paul Robeson singing on a little tiny mic, and I'm about 6 feet away with no mic, accompanying him on the guitar. And I asked him when he came in from his retinue, when he came to the back of the statue in Trafalgar Square. I said, Paul, what are you gonna sing? He says, I don't know yet, honey. Just play along. So that's my history with Paul Robeson. And
Wow.
look him up, because the way he died, scandalous, and the way he was literally wiped out of any left wing, anything for black power, although we weren't talking about that in those days. You were just trying to keep yourself alive. It's all been expunged. So everybody should read up about Paul Robeson. The Russians loved him. They did. And Europe loved him, gave him all he needed, went back to America, and he was shunned.
Yeah.
So that's,
What did you understand as an artist about the personal sacrifices, living and moving inside of being truthful to your heart and to your art, just from watching what happened with him?
uh, well, I accepted that down at the grassroots is where we belong, because that's where we can hide if the grass is long enough. You poke your head above the parapet. You have to be careful when there are certain elements in government. Uh, uh, over here we had a folk club movement. We have pubs, and every pub has a public room on the side, and that's where we went to sing. At one point, we had 3,000 folk clubs in this country, all holding their evenings in little pubs and pub rooms, and that's where the music came from. The traditional music. It didn't come from great big rallies of 50,000 people and everybody yelling so loud that you can't hear the music. It came from grassroots. And so that's where Ewan McCall and I played. We played in grassroots. And that's where Pete played when House of Un-American Activities Committee broke up the Weavers, and people would no longer hire him. So he went and sang in universities, and he sang in union halls. And yeah, so it's if you have to compromise what you do in order to be popular, or in order to play for buckets and buckets and buckets and buckets of people who are not essentially listening to you, but who want a musical orgy, if you have to give up what you know and what the songs are about, then there's no point. And folk music comes from the lowest economic uh, uh, level of our society. It isn't bank and CEOs of corporations who write it. It isn't the Kardashian type people who write it. It isn't well-off people who write it. Folk songs are about the hard life. And so you can't, you have to be careful what you do with it. And singing in the grassroots to me was it.
Mm. And we are so grateful to you for that. You mentioned you and McCall. I've got to ask you about a song, The First Time Ever I Saw Your Face. I've read about his feelings on the song. I'm curious about yours, particularly you heard it over a long distance phone call. Is that how it happened?
Well, to understand the background, I would urge you to read my memoir. There's two books about me. One is by Jean Friedman, who lives in Washington, D.C., and that tells you all the facts. She knows more about me than I do. And she looked it up. It took her 10 years to write it. And whenever I want to find out where I was on a certain date, I call Jean. I said, "Where was I on such a?" Oh, she says, "You were so and so." But my memoir tells you my take on things that I remember, and it'll tell you the whole story. Well, not the whole story, but a part that I want you to know. It'll tell you the story of my life with you and McCall before we got together. He chased me for 3 years. He was 41 when I was 21. He was 20 years older than me. He was married. He had a child. And that wasn't my idea of what I was aiming for. And so I came back to America. And that was in 1956. In December, I came back to America from, hitchhiking around over here. And I phoned him, or he phoned me. We didn't do that a lot those days. Too expensive. Yeah. And there was no way of talking easily. And he didn't have money, and I didn't have money. But we happened to be on a phone call, and I said, "Los Angeles, the radio, they want a happy love song that's very short." And I said, "I don't have any happy love songs. All the love songs I know, everybody's miserable." So he said, "Well, how about this one?" And he just sang it over the phone. And because of my musical training with my mother, I knew how to write it down. I just got a piece of music paper and I wrote it down. And then I made a nice accompaniment for it and sang it the way I knew he wanted it to be. And if you listen to my version and compare it with Roberta Flack's, prepare yourself for the shock. Mine is the way he meant it to be, and it's also the tune that he meant it to be, because much of the tune that everybody knows, us first time ever, wasn't from his version. But never mind, the royalties come in, so we don't worry about that.
And so it is. And the song was covered by so many people. Uh,
450 people, 450 covers at this point.
and I mean, were your ears tuned in, or did you just have to just say, "Okay, I've released it. Just give me my publishing"? Was that your kind of position on it?
My position on what? Whether people
On
said it.
all the covers that people were
Oh,
doing
no,
of the song.
no, you don't. If they change the words, uh, I think I would probably object. But it's an iconic, very pure song. The words. It's kind of hard to know what you would change them to. Uh, so I've never put my foot down on it being. I mean, and there's been heavy metal versions. If you want to hear the most far out version that I ever did, go to one called
It's
Folksploitation.
9:30.
I'm sorry. Say that again, please.
Okay, it's a version called Folksploitation, where my son Callum decided with a friend of his who does digital music to see how far you could take it. And if you listen to that and then listen to me singing the first time ever the way I like to sing it, you wouldn't think they're the same song. Folksploitation is dance music, and I like it for dance music.
I love it. I love it. Miss Peggy, you're so charming, and I could speak with you for a couple of hours, but I know time is limited for everyone. So,
What I,
please, we know that you've got some things that are coming up.
yeah, what I'd like to say is that I have an album that came out in January. It's called First Farewell, and it's a little bit dark, and it has 5 songs made with members of my family and the others made by me. And it's a bit different from what I normally do. I started to play the piano a lot because my hands are so full of arthritis that I can't play banjo and guitar properly anymore. So touring, I'm going to drive over to Dublin in the end of January to sing 3 songs and get paid. Then in end of February until the middle of April, I have a ginormous tour, 29 dates, with my son Callum and my manager traveling along and sound engineer, and they treat me like glass, and it is so easy, it's wonderful, and I will have good voice for that.
Fantastic, fantastic. Okay, may we please get the 12th day countdown from the song earlier? Just the countdown so everyone can sing along with you, please.
On the 12th day of Christmas, my true love sent to me 12 drummers drumming, 12 drummers drumming, 11 pipers piping, 10 lords a leaping, 9 ladies dancing, 8 maids a milking, 7 swans a swimming, 6 geese a laying, 5 gold rings, 4 calling birds, 3 French hens, 2 turtle doves, and a partridge in a pear tree.
Fantastic. Everybody, show your love. Everybody, show your love. The great
Thanks for
Peggy
all of the
Seeger.
friends I know who are there. Thank you very much. And I see you, and I see a number of people I want to be friends with, all of you. So wonderful. Thank you all. And have a wonderful, wonderful Christmas and New Year.
Fantastic. And Dick and Kathy just put in the chat the recorded set for the concert on January 29th. Will you please put the link for it also so people can support it and be there for you? Miss Peggy, thank you so much. I know you got to go. Have a wonderful, wonderful holiday season, and thank you so very, very much.
Arnaé, you've done a beautiful job. You really have. You really, really have. Would you put my website address in? And
Absolutely.
you are beautifully photogenic. You are just lovely.
Oh my, Katie did it. Katie did it. Katie did it. Katie did it. Okay. All right, everybody. Woo, let's take a breath on all of that beautiful gorgeousness that we just got in. Okay. All right, let's come back. A few announcements before we bring today's session to a close. There is a community sing today, 6:30 p.m. Eastern Time. The links are poof in the chat. The end of the year fundraising extravaganza is still ongoing up until December 31st. This is the fundraiser specifically for Daily Antidote of Song. So get your coins together, people. Get them together. There are a lot of amazing gifts that come from contributing. There are gifts that are coming from artists, and the top donor gets to pick from a variety of gifts, including I think David Roth has a personalized song. No, I did not say David Lee Roth. I see what you just did in my chat. Okay. David Roth. It's a personalized song. There's a cocktail party with Kathy B, Dr. Kathy B, JoJo, and me. Emma's Rev and JoJo are doing soup and spirits. You have to bring your own. You can find the donate button. It's a blue button on the Daily Antidote page, and you can donate up through December 31st. And there's also an opportunity for someone who might not be a top donor who will be picked randomly, and you'll be able to choose amongst all those gifts. Every donor, no matter the size, is invited to a big blast party that happens in 2022. And remember, give, receive, give, receive. That law, be a part of it. Be a part of it. Okay, before we say our final goodbyes, again, let me extend an invitation to any new people in the room to please stay until the end after everyone is gone so you can get your special welcome from JoJo. And I want to give a special shout out to my friends in British Columbia. I wish we could unmute you, but everyone who has choir in front of their name, there is a special choir concert that's coming up on the 29th of January. You want to make sure you're there. So all the choir people, just wave anyway. We can't see y'all, but just wave anyway.
Arnaé, it's Peggy.
Yes, ma'am.
I would like to donate something toward to the pile. It would be a Ewan McCall shirt, one of the shirts he wore, and it has a little quilted piece in it with our name. They're numbered. They could choose which one they want.
And so it is right here in front of our eyes, people, right here. Okay, I'm sure JoJo will get to you, Miss Peggy, to sort it all out. Thank you so much. Your generosity of spirit is enormous. It's ginormous. And we love you and value and appreciate you so much. Thank you. Okay, y'all, I'm full. Let's see. Let's say I think it's time to say goodbye to the Facebook family. So let's say bye-bye to them.